As the outlook for coral reefs across a warming planet grows grimmer, scientists in Israel have discovered a rare glimmer of hope. The corals of the northern Red Sea may survive and even thrive into the next century.
Here in the Gulf of Aqaba, we found that corals are not bleaching. We've never witnessed any bleaching event, which is so common elsewhere.
There is broad scientific consensus that the effects of climate change have devastated the world's reefs, recently ravaging large swaths of the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, one of the natural wonders of the world.
We've exposed our corals to bleaching conditions, and coral bleaching conditions are usually considered as 1 to 2 degrees above the summer maximum temperature. So this is exactly where we started. We exposed them to these temperatures, and there was no bleaching. They didn't bleach. The symbionts were okay, they felt all right, and so we continued. We elevated the temperature furthermore, and 3 degrees and 4 degrees and 5, and only at 5 and 6 degrees above summer maximum they showed signs of stress and bleaching.
But the corals at the northmost tip of the Red Sea are exhibiting remarkable resistance to the rising water temperatures and acidification facing the region. This is according to research conducted by the Inter-University Institute for Marine Sciences based in Eilat, Israel. The carbon dioxide that humans release into the atmosphere raises the temperature and the acidity of seawater, which can both poison corals and hamper their growth. Scientists estimate that half of the corals that existed in the early 20th century have died.
To understand how species may acclimate or be able to adapt to climate change that we expect to be seeing over the next century, it is very important that we conduct more of these kinds of studies. So to see what happens with a parental environment suffers or changes, what happens onto the offspring. And this will give us information on how well species will be able to adapt or not, continue to survive or not, and into the future.
Overheated water forces corals to eject the brightly colored plants inside their tissue that serve as their primary food and oxygen source. This causes reefs to bleach or take on a bone-white pallor that often indicates that mass mortality is a risk. Reef death not only carries dire consequences for wildlife but also for the homes, health, and livelihoods of hundreds of millions of people. Apart from global warming, other threats to corals include local stresses like overfishing, pollution, and the jewelry trade. An ETV Bharat report.